Hi, today we'll be talking about home remedies for vaginal yeast infection. There are a lot of things available over the counter. The internet says a lot of things about it. So should we be doing it? Should we not be doing it? That is the big question. So hi, I'm Dr. Hirday Kapoor, consultant obstetrician gynecologist practicing for last 29 years, associated with Cloudnine Hospital, Punjabi Bagh. Today we'll be discussing about home remedies for vaginal yeast infection. Now, as we know, 75% of the females during the reproductive age group would be affected by the yeast infection at least once. But why does this happen? It happens because of the overgrowth of the candidal infection by the name of Candida albicans. Now, again, we should also ask, why does it happen? Why is it happening? As we all know that there is a healthy bacteria which is present in the vagina, the lactobacilli, and sometimes because of some reasons, this healthy bacteria, the growth of this goes down and the yeast infection thrives and leading to a condition known as vulvovaginal candidiasis. Now, what are the symptoms for it? How do we recognize what is happening to us? So, one, there will be a lot of irritation, there will be inflammation, there will be itching, and you will have redness. There will be curdy white discharge. The contact with your partner or a physical intimacy with your partner will become very, very painful. And once you pass urine, it will be difficult for you to even pass urine because you will feel a lot of irritation in the vagina. So all these things will indicate, yes, you are having, and the most peculiar of this is the curdy white discharge. So once we have a curdy white discharge, a lot of females at home do come to the doctor telling, yes, that I have this thing known as the yeast infection. They come with a self-diagnosis of a yeast infection once they have seen the curdy white discharge. And that is why they resort to the home remedies. Now, what causes the yeast infection? If you have uncontrolled diabetes, if your sugar levels are too high, or you are pregnant, or there is hypothyroidism, or if case there is a hormonal imbalance in your body, this all things will change the pH of the vagina and will cause a facilitation or may cause aggravation of the yeast infection, leading to yeast infection. Even the prolonged use of antibiotics or if you are on oral contraceptive pills, all these things will again lead to yeast infection. If you are repeatedly using some sort of vaginal creams, body washes which irritates the vagina, all these things will also lead to causing irritation, causing mucosal erosion, and thus leading towards vaginal infection. Stress incontinence during pregnancy or post-pregnancy or maybe in the menopausal age group will cause urinary leakage, which will cause the panties to be wet all the time. And these wet panties, and we know fungus grows very well in the damp area. So the wet panties is a good source of having a fungal infection, and that is why the yeast infection comes. Now, what are the precautions that we should use for this? Now, the precautions that we can take is utmost important is our hygiene. Why? We should always take a bath at least once a day, if not twice a day. But in India, since it is hot and humid, it is better that we should always take a bath at least twice in a day. Secondly, in case if we are having sweating too much, we are sweating a lot, and because of the sweat, what happens is that the panties become damp. So we should always take a bath and make sure that our panties are always dry. Do not use nylon panties. Reason? Because they are non-breathable. We should wear breathable or cotton panties, which will help us, undergarments basically, which will keep the vagina dry all the time. There will be no sweat collection and there will be no sticky feeling to the body also. Similarly, once you're on your periods and you're using synthetic pads all these things will also lead to a lot of irritation, because of if some people do not change the pad very frequently. So what happens? That pad, synthetic pads, will also lead towards vaginal infection, and most probably it is the yeast infection which is happening. Reason again, the dampness in the pad, and it is a good blood over there, is a good culture medium for all of this. Now what is happening again? Since we are taking a bath every day, some people are very fond of using talcum powder, or they're very good at using some local hygiene washes. Now most of these washes are coming up with some scented things. So all these scented things which may inhibit the vaginal pH, may alter the vaginal pH, again facilitating the growth. So do not use any irritants in the vaginal area. That may be your body washes, your lotions, your creams, anything of that sort. Do not use it in the vaginal area. It is best for you to wash it only with plain simple water. While we are cleaning our private part, our vagina, so how should we clean it? Always make the hand gesture should be from the front to the back and not from the back to the front, because again, if we clean it from the back to the front, we are introducing a lot of stool infection also, and again all these things ultimately will lead to a vaginal infection and will propagate the yeast infection. Now another thing we should be taking care of, most people are fond of swimming and they are fond of going to the gym. Once you go for swimming, make sure you change your swimsuit, wear a dry swimsuit every day. Post swimming also, make sure that you are not wearing the wet swimsuit for a very long time. Make sure you change the swimsuit as once you have finished swimming, and similarly with your gym clothes also. Once you have out of the gym, don't hang around with your friends here and there, because most of the people have a tendency of wearing synthetic gym clothes and wearing synthetic garments, and these too tight garments will also lead to yeast infection. So once you have had your swimming, you are done with the gym, please come back home and change your clothes. Take a bath and change your clothes, especially when you're having or you're doing some cooking in the kitchen. That time also, if it is hot and humid and you're sweating a lot, make sure that you come and take a bath and freshen up and change your undergarments. While taking a bath, you are cleaning it with simple water. Once you are cleaning up with simple water, make sure that you do not use any irritants, as we have already mentioned that. Plus, do not rub that area too hard with the towel. Okay, you are supposed to just dab it dry. Just dab it dry. Do not rub too hard with the towel, because rubbing will cause erosion of the normal mucosa, and all these things are a good thing to facilitate yeast infection. Now once supposedly you're having a yeast infection, you know that, please do not have a physical contact with your partner, because semen is a good media and grows the yeast infection and leads to again aggravating the yeast infection. Now not only this, please do not use any tampons or menstrual cups in case you are having yeast infection, because this will lead to the inflammation of the vagina, may sometimes cause bleeding also. So all these things are better that it should not be used while we are having a yeast infection. Now even do not douche. It was a very well-known old practice which a lot of old practitioners used to do. They used to ask you to douche the vagina. What is douching? You have a bottle and you have a pipe along with that, which causes the water to go inside the vagina, and this causes the usually causes the infection or the things to come out of the vagina. But nowadays douching is not at all recommended, because we have a lot of vaginal pessaries which are there which can treat the thing. Now do not apply any anti-itch cream also. Why? Because this may further irritate the vagina. So all these things are the precautions that we should be taking so that once you have a vaginal infection, you should not aggravate it, number one, and number two, you should take all these precautions so that first of all you will not have the yeast infection. Now what are the home remedies which are there on the net that says? Now these home remedies which are available on the net, they talk about applying a tea tree oil, or they may talk about applying yogurt in the vagina or some garlic paste in the vagina, and some people may also apply vinegar. They are asked to put vinegar in the hot bathtub and sit in that tub, but all these things should not be done because all these will further aggravate and irritate the vagina. So, as all the home remedies, none of this should be used. Yes, some people do apply coconut oil, but coconut oil is antibacterial. It is not antifungal. So it will give you some amount of soothing feeling. You will feel little better. Yes, maybe the itching may go down a little, but no. You do not use all these things. Always have a consultation with your consultant, with your gynecologist. Consult her. Once you have the infection, please go to her again also to see whether the infection has subsided or not, so that you can return to your daily activities. You can be having your intimacy with your partner, you can go in for swimming, you can go back to the gym and resume all your activities. Now there are a lot of antifungal things present over the counter also. Some people have this habit of going to the chemist and asking the chemist that give me any antifungal because I am having a yeast infection. He may give you some sort of a medication, but what is the extent of your infection? Whether it is limited to the vulva, or it is limited to the vagina, or it has spread outside, whether it has gone on to the mons pubis, the outer side of the thigh, the inner side of the thigh, towards the hip area. So depending upon the extent of the yeast infection that you have, your doctor will advise you the best medicine possible and the best antifungal possible. She may give you certain ointments to be applied, certain vaginal pessaries to be kept inside. All these things should be taken under due prescription, and make sure you use a prescription based medicine, not the over the counter available medication. Last but not the least, in case if you are pregnant, then also during pregnancy, please, antifungal medications you should not be taking. It is best for you to consult your doctor because there will be only local medications that she can ask you to apply, maybe an antifungal ointment or an antifungal pessary. Yes, pre-probiotics can be used by the oral method, which will reduce the amount of this fungal infection and will give you relief. So for all those ladies who have been suffering through the yeast infection, make sure you get rid of this, keep your vagina healthy, and make sure that you do not suffer from this problem ever. So all these things, as we have seen, will help you prevent the vaginal infection, and the medication will cure you. So make sure you always take all the precautions and remain healthy, and there is no sort of vaginal infection or yeast infection that you ever have. So yes, take care of yourself, stay healthy. Thank you.